and we are moving through lesson 53 in A Course in Miracles. And we're going to just start with a review of the previous lessons leading up to today's. Lesson 34, I could see peace instead of this. Lesson 35, my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Lesson 36, my holiness envelops everything I see. Lesson 37, my holiness blesses the world. Lesson 38, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. Lesson 39, my holiness is my salvation. Lesson 40, I am blessed as a son of God. Lesson 41, God goes with me wherever I go. Lesson 42, God is my strength. Vision is his gift. Lesson 43, God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. Lesson 44, God is the light in which I see. Lesson 45, God is the mind with which I think. Lesson 46, God is the love in which I forgive. Lesson 47, God is the strength in which I trust. Lesson 48, there is nothing to fear. Lesson 49, God's voice speaks to me all through the day. And lesson 50, I am sustained by the love of God. Lesson 51 reviewed lessons 1 through 5, and lesson 52 yesterday reviewed lessons 6 through 10. And so today, lesson 53, we are going to review lessons 11 through 15. Lesson 11, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not produce or mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. What is producing this world is insane, and so is what it produces. Reality is not insane, and I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. I can therefore see a real world if I look to my real thoughts as my guide for seeing. Lesson 12, I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world. I am grateful that this world is not real and that I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning. Lesson 13, a meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no ground for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusions of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear because I am acknowledging that it does not exist. Lesson 14, God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too because he created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts when the perfection of creation is my home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide. Lesson 15. My thoughts are images that I have made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see the world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am only seeing the representation of my insane thoughts and am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against him because it is not my will that they do. My will is his, and I will place no other gods before him. Wow, y'all. As I was reading this, I just kept thinking of yesterday's conversation just around how horrific some parts of life are, how devastating it can be. And so to read this with that in mind, it's so wild because what we're experiencing right here in this physical world is so real. The pain is so real. And what each one of these lessons is calling us to do is to effectively take a higher perspective, to take God's perspective and see the world through his eyes, which is, with him, there's no time. With him, there is only life. And with him, there's only, so much love. And it's like, this is where I kind of wonder how much we can be united with our loved ones in our hearts. I'm just reminded of this verse. Um, in the book of Hebrews where it says, we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. So it's like they're all cheering us on, those who have gone on before us and passed on. And we're not left alone to live in this world. And at any moment, I think that this is the point of it. At any moment, we can move from the source of fear, looking at this physical world, to the source of love, seeing from God's perspective, which is peaceful and which is joy and which is hope, because God sees the big picture and he sees so much good that's going to come on the other side of this and that is already coming from this. And so it's like God can just see from that bird's eye perspective that otherwise can just drive us insane, because we're like, this is why I think she says insane, and that totally insane engenders fear. So we live fearful because we don't see the big picture, and we're trying to figure out and we're trying to be in control rather than what's necessary to be able to really trust, which is surrender. And it's funny, we talk a lot here on the Knowing Show about sitting in the driver's seat of our life and really um, taking up radical responsibility. And that's where the most important conjunction and resides. Surrendering and putting that trust in an ultimate authority beyond you and me gives us hope, and also taking radical responsibility. But in taking radical responsibility, we actually can assume that posture of surrender. It's not just let go and let God. It's actually very active. When I think of this process of surrender, it's like it's kind of like the Greek word lambano. That word is the Greek root for receive. When a soldier receives a command, they're not just like, got it. And they sit there. They go and take action as a result. And so when I think of surrender, it's kind of like, okay, I'm simply just transitioning wills where I'm like, okay, God, I'm actually wanting to do the most optimum exciting adventure of my life. And I actually think then trust that that's by following what you have ordained, because you can see that big picture. But in surrender, I'm going to surrender my will to yours, and I'm going to go freaking live as well as I can. And it's like gird every part of me in not just surrender, but in pursuit of that will. It's just a matter of whose will is going to be the one that I ultimately fall under. I think of when I talk about vertical alignment, it's like, yes, what are my ideals? Who do I feel called to be? What is my own standard? But ultimately, that comes into submission under the authority of a superordinate principle, which is God. I'm just jumping in here into the chat. Good morning, Brian. Parth, good to see you. Black Eyes, Mr. Black Eyes, good to see you. MD Ratul from Bangladesh, thanks for joining in. Vikas, hello. Brian, I love this question. I'm going to have to think about it. He says, what smell brings back great memories for you? What a good question. I just had a sip of coffee. I actually think coffee pretty much always does. Like, I've always had good associations with coffee. It's like the early morning, and that's where so much connection happens. So I love that. Carlos from Argentina, good morning. And Brian, I'd love to hear from you what actually brings back a good memory. And folks here in the chat, I'm actually going to pin Brian's question because I think that that's such a fun one. And then I actually need to go. I need to go to the airport. But first, I just love this question. What brings back good memories for us? The great one. Good to see you. Exposed Fun. Hello. It's good to see you. Jammy Jam Jam. Hello. Dan, I just looked at your chat. Thank you. Oh, Jack says if you stop using the blurry filter, you'll get more views. Interesting. I'll actually try that out later today. Thank you. Charles, thanks for joining. Enlightened Prophet. Ooh, I love that. Trey Hodges, good morning. Good to see you. The great one. That's a good point. What if I don't like how Angelina looks? That's hilarious. Um, uh, all right, y'all. Jason Bourne, good morning. I'm glad to see you. Y'all, I need to jump off. Um, I am. Oh, Brian says baked cookies. I love that. Yes. 100%. That was in response to the question, what smell brings back great memories for you? I love that question. Y'all, I need to jump off. Nifty Nufty. We were talking through a morning, today's lesson from A Course in Miracles. But I actually need to jump off. Normally, I'm able to hang on here for longer and we just kind of talk through more of on today's lesson, but I do need to jump. I am going to actually put the link here for those of you who just want to read the review from lessons 11 through 15. Born Bad Brains. My ex-wife's name is Christene Marie. I hope that that's not painful for you to see my name. But I'm glad you're here. Milton, hello from London. Billy, I'm sorry I need to leave. I'll be back on y'all tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So I will be seeing you then. In the meantime, the lesson that I'm going to take with me throughout the day and just really meditate on is this. My thoughts are images that I have made. And I want to see the world through God's eyes. And most anything that I want to change around me, I get to change just through my own thoughts. If I want to engage, oh, I turned off my camera. I don't know how that happened. But if I want to engage with people in a more loving way, if I want to engage with people in a way that really brings healing to them, I can just change my thoughts. So, all right, y'all, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to go fly away, and I will see you tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on The Knowing Show.